For decades, the old house at the edge of Blackwood Forest had terrified everyone who lived nearby. It wasn't because of its appearance, although the building looked as if time itself had abandoned it. Its broken windows stared into the forest like empty eyes, while twisted vines climbed the cracked walls, slowly swallowing the structure whole. The real reason people feared the house was much darker. Every person who had ever entered claimed to hear someone whispering their name. Some heard the voice of a parent who had died years earlier. Others recognized the voice of a childhood friend or a loved one they had lost. The whispers were never loud. They were calm, gentle, almost comforting. And that was what made them so dangerous. According to local legend, if you answered the whisper, you would never leave the house again. Most people laughed at the story, until people started disappearing. The first was a hunter who entered the forest during a storm and never returned. Weeks later, search teams found his backpack just outside the house. His footprints led through the front door. There were no footprints leading back out. Years later, two teenagers disappeared after daring each other to spend one night inside. The only thing investigators recovered was an old video camera. The recording ended with one of the boys slowly turning toward the darkness and smiling. "I hear my mother," he whispered. The screen immediately turned black. No one ever discovered what happened next. As time passed, the abandoned house became one of the country's most infamous urban legends. Thousands of stories appeared online. Some claimed the house was haunted. Others believed something far older lived beneath it. Three documentary creators named Ethan, Mia, and Lucas didn't believe any of those stories. Their YouTube channel specialized in exposing fake paranormal legends, and they had built a reputation by debunking haunted locations across the country. "This will be our easiest episode yet," Ethan laughed as they parked beside the abandoned road leading into Blackwood Forest. The sun was already setting. Cold wind pushed through the trees, creating a strange sound that almost resembled distant voices. Lucas checked every camera while Mia unpacked extra batteries and flashlights. "If this place is really haunted," Mia joked, "at least we'll get millions of views." The three laughed. None of them noticed the old wooden sign standing beside the path. Its faded letters could barely be read. "Do not answer if you hear your name." They walked deeper into the forest until the house finally appeared between the trees. It was larger than they expected, silent, waiting. As Ethan reached for the rusted front door, every bird in the forest suddenly stopped singing. The silence was overwhelming. He pushed the door open. It creaked slowly, then slammed shut behind them on its own. At that exact moment, someone whispered, "Ethan." The whisper was so soft that Ethan wasn't sure if he had imagined it. "Did you guys hear that?" he asked, forcing a nervous laugh. Mia and Lucas exchanged uneasy glances. "Hear what?" "My name." "Someone just said my name." They searched every room on the ground floor. Dust covered the furniture, cobwebs stretched across the ceilings, and the air smelled of damp wood. There were no footprints except their own. Still, Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that someone was following them. As they climbed the staircase, Lucas's camera suddenly began to glitch. The screen filled with static before revealing something impossible. For less than a second, a dark figure stood at the end of the hallway. When Lucas looked up, the hallway was empty. Trying to stay calm, they entered the largest bedroom. In the corner sat an old wooden desk. Inside one of its drawers lay a worn leather journal. The first pages described the house and its strange whispers. But the final entry made all three of them freeze. "The voice never lies. It becomes whoever you trust the most. If it calls your name, do not answer. If you follow it, the house will keep you forever." At that exact moment, Mia heard a familiar voice. It sounded exactly like her younger sister, who had died in a car accident years before. "Mia." The whisper came from somewhere downstairs. Tears filled her eyes. It can't be." Ethan grabbed her arm. "Don't move." But the voice came again. Softer. Closer. "Mia, please help me." Without saying a word, Mia slowly walked toward the staircase. Lucas reached for her shoulder. Just as every light on their cameras went black, darkness swallowed the house. For several terrifying seconds, the only sound was Mia's footsteps echoing below. Then, silence. "Ethan," Lucas shouted. "She's gone." Their flashlights suddenly flickered back to life. The front door was wide open. Outside, the forest stood perfectly still. There was no sign of Mia. They searched every room, every hallway, every corner of the house. Nothing. Then Lucas noticed something lying on the floor. It was Mia's camera. His hands trembled as he pressed play. The recording showed Mia walking through the hallway, smiling peacefully as she followed the unseen voice. At the end of the corridor, a dark doorway slowly appeared where no doorway had existed before. A tall shadow stood inside it. The figure raised one hand. Mia stepped forward. The doorway closed. The recording ended. Terrified, Ethan and Lucas ran from the house without looking back. Neither of them ever returned. Police searched the property for days. They found no hidden rooms, no underground tunnels, no trace of Mia. The official report listed her as a missing person. Months later, Ethan uploaded the recovered footage to his channel. Millions watched it. Some believed it was fake. Others noticed something far more disturbing. Throughout the entire recording, a shadow could be seen standing behind the three friends in every single room. Watching, waiting. The house was demolished the following year. Today, only its cracked stone foundation remains deep inside Blackwood Forest. But hikers still report hearing whispers carried by the wind. They all describe the same chilling experience. A gentle voice, calling their name, and those who answer are never seen again.